Okay. You can see that these little rolls have doubled in size. And I could scoot them a little bit, but I'm not going to even worry about it. I might give them a little more room to spread out. Okay. Okay, you guys. I'm going to put a little milk on these rolls. Just a little milk over the top. I'll just do a little milk over the top of them. Hopefully they'll be really soft. They're just going to go right into this 400-degree oven, you guys. And then we'll put some butter on top of them when we're done. Just a little milk on top of them. The dough is really soft, so let's hope they taste good. All right, let me put them in this 400-degree oven. Baking some rolls. They're gonna go right in the oven. Gonna go right in the oven. And Merry Christmas, Ann. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay, Ann Jordan. Thank you for watching as I'm cooking in the kitchen. I've got a couple of sweet potatoes here. And I'm going to make a sweet potato pie. I'm just going to make one pie. I don't know, you guys, if it's hard for you, but I have the hardest time just making one pie. So I'm trying to see if I could just narrow down this recipe to just make one sweet potato pie. It's going to be hard, but I think these potatoes are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I'm just going to make a sweet potato pie. But these rolls are going to be in the oven just for a few minutes. So I'm not going to look at them. I'm not going to open them up anymore because they're in the oven. And hopefully they won't take very long. Look at that recipe and see how long those rolls have to stay in the oven. They're like easy yeast rolls. Because you use the active dry yeast, the fast acting. I used this earlier when I was on the live. So when I made the dough, but it had to sit and it had to rise. So I didn't want to have so many people just waiting on dough to rise. So I actually turned the live off, but we're back on now, trying to see how these rolls are turning out. They don't look very pretty, but Lord, let's see how they taste. So and what are you making for the holiday? Because I am just making not a whole lot, but I am actually trying to not do so many desserts this time. And I've got a lot of stuff that I brought with me on this trip. You can see over there on the counter. But I have definitely been just trying my best to not make so much because we don't want so much to go to waste. So I'm going to put the milk up.
400 degrees.
Yeah, 400 degrees. For how long do they have to cook?
15 minutes until light brown.
What's that?
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so the recipe is 10 to 15 minutes until they're lightly brown. Okay, so
Preheat it up.
I preheated the oven, so Lord, I hope it's ready. It's saying 400. So I don't know. Let's hope it's doing right. Um oh, so you're making the sweet potato pies, and okay. Very nice. So it really does help when you have people in your family. You're making seven? You're making seven sweet potato pies. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm just making one. So you have got me by six pies. That is so amazing. I remember one year I literally made 10 pies, you guys. One Christmas I made 10 pies and I could not believe it. I was saying to myself, why did I do this? But when I started, I just couldn't stop. So it was really hilarious because I gave most of them away. I think we kept like two, and then I gave two to members of my family, and I gave some to members of our church. And it's so funny because they got to the place to where, oh, you have a big family. Okay, I understand that. That's wonderful. What a blessing. Um, I know I actually got to the place to where the people at the church were like looking forward to getting their pies every year. They'd be like, First Lady, I didn't get my sweet potato pie. And I would let them know, I said, they're on the way, they're on the way. So they got to the place to where they really were expecting them every year at Christmas because I gave them away as gifts. But we moved away from where we used to live, and this year I made a couple of pies for people at the church, and so they really did enjoy them. They really did. But I have not made 10 pies in a very, very long time. I have not. So, and I know that I feel like you almost have to have a double oven to be able to do all of that baking. But it's so much fun. And even if, like, even sometimes when I bake something and it doesn't turn out exactly right, I still enjoy baking and doing it just because I love, cooking so much. So I hope you guys have a good time, Miss Ann Jordan. I hope you guys have a great time with your family this Christmas. It's so nice to have a big family and everybody gets together. That is so much fun. Yeah, and that's true because everybody will want to take their own pie home because, it's like when you make one pie, then, it's not enough for everybody. So everybody really just wants to have their own individual pie. And it's good to give them away as gifts because people really do want something homemade. They really do. They want a homemade pie, something that they can know that it was made with love by one of their family members. So I totally agree. Everybody wants to take a pie. Yeah, I used to make sure every family at the church, I used to make sure every family at the church got a pie. Of course, our church was, kind of small, but pretty much everybody that wanted one, I made them one. Oh, so we always had a blessed Christmas. Okay, so how long have the rolls been in the oven? Let me see if I can turn the light on and see what they're looking like. Okay, you can kind of see how they're cooking in there. I don't want to open it because I don't want to mess up the heat factor that's in there. I definitely don't want to disrupt that. If I open it up, I will. But you can kind of see they are doing well. They're rising up. So, oh, I hope they're good, y'all. My little yeast rolls. But I've got some stuff. I've got to make my cornbread. And I like this is the buttermilk cornmeal mix. I like to do that when I'm making my cornbread. And sometimes I will actually sneak a little bit of Jiffy in the mix. Do you guys do that? Do you guys mix the regular cornmeal with the Jiffy? Let me know if you guys do that. because sometimes when I make the cornbread dressing, I sneak a little jiffy in there. Okay, so the sweet potatoes, they are ready. I can peel them and start getting them in a bowl. You can see that this dough has risen, but I want it to rise a little bit more before I make those cranberry rolls. So let me do this with this. Let me drain off this. Jeremiah. Okay, you guys can see how hot this is. I'm just draining this. I'm gonna peel them just like right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel them. And usually I try to peel them under cold water. That way they won't burn my hand so much. You went back the other day and watched the cornbread dressing? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ann. I sure appreciate you going back and watching that. That is one of my favorite. Jeremiah, that was actually the first video I ever did. I've never really told the story about how I started First Lady's Kitchen channel. So I guess I'll just tell you guys, since you guys are on here with me this afternoon, I'll tell y'all the story of how First Lady's Kitchen got started. What happened was I was cooking in the kitchen, making cornbread dressing like I always do. And so my husband, he came in and he was like, "Why don't you record that?" And I was like, "Honey, I don't have time to record anything. I am just too busy right now trying to cook." He said, "Well, I'll record." So he started recording, and actually, when he started recording, I said, "Honey, what are we going to do?" He said, "Well, will you hold this camera for me and set this up for me?" I'm going to peel these sweet potatoes right here because they're hot and they have to be peeled under cold water. So, see how easily they peel after they've been boiled? I mean, like it's really just, they just peel away. Now, some people bake them and they still peel okay, but I think they peel easy to me when they are boiled. But I just love how they just peel, and they're still kind of hot, but you just kind of have to be careful not to burn yourself. But I just peel them just like this. And like I said, I'm trying to make just one pie, Lord. Ah, that's hot. All right. All right. So back to what I was saying. Um, and I'll show you guys what I was saying about First Lady's Kitchen is. So he said, "Why don't you just start up a channel?" And I was like, "Start up a channel?" I said, "I don't know the first thing about having a YouTube channel." He said, "Well, I'll do it." And so the rest is history, you guys. That was back in 2016 when I first actually started First Lady's Kitchen. That's the story. But yeah, I always do Jiffy. I mean, I started doing that because I like for it to be just a little bit yellow, soft and sweet, a little bit on my cornbread dressing. All right, so now I don't think I'm going to use, let's see, this is 1 cup. And I don't even know if I'm going to use 1 cup of sugar. But you definitely want to do all of this while the potatoes are still hot. Okay, and I know that I won't, probably definitely will not have to add more sugar to this. So the main thing to do is while the potatoes are still hot, it'll melt the sugar. The butter is already pretty much melted, and that's like about a half of a stick of butter. You don't have to have a whole lot. You want it to be kind of buttery, but if I was making 2 pies, I definitely would use a whole stick. So since I'm just making one, I'll do a half stick. So that was in 2016 when I started First Lady's Kitchen. And the interesting thing about it is that I never really even had in my mind to do a channel. But now I love it, and I love you guys so much, and I thank you all for watching and being such loyal family subscribers. It's such a blessing to hang out with you guys in the kitchen and cook as much as we do. There's so many things that you can do in terms of variations on this recipe, obviously. You can talk to people and they will honestly give you so many different ways that they make this. But you can see how, and if you have any dark pieces from your sweet potato, just get rid of them. If you see any dark pieces that came off of the sweet potato, just remove it. Okay? All right, let me check on the rolls. All right, they gotta come out. Okay, guys, these are the rolls. I just pulled them out of the oven. And if you could smell them right now, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. Because I don't want to eat all of these. But I want to at least try one for you guys. But the thing that I want to do is I want to put some butter on it while they're still hot. So they were in there about, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? They're just lightly brown. All right? And I'm just going to take some butter and just go across the top of them. Just like so. These are the quick yeast rolls. Like when you're baking, I don't bake that much, and sometimes I just don't want to be in the kitchen all day. Although, you know, on a time like this, we're definitely in for the long haul today. So I'm excited about all the stuff that we're making today. My daughter said she wanted to make something too, so we'll see what else we might make for you guys. Just doing lives over and over and over again today. Okay, that looks really buttery. What do y'all think? That looks buttery. Is that buttery enough, or do we need more butter? Around the edges. We want every little bit to be buttery. Okay. All right, so now what we want to do is I'm just going to move it over here to this surface. Now, who wants to try one? Let's see. They look good, don't they? You guys, do they look good? Do y'all think so? Okay, so now let's look and see if we can get this one. Do you like the soft corner pieces? Let's see, guys. Oh, wow. They're so soft and moist. Oh. Whew. Oh, wow. I gotta put some butter in there. You wanna taste one? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put some butter in there. Okay. Ooh, it's hot. You want to bite one?
Mm-hmm.
Take a bite of the roll.
It is hot.
It's hot. Mmm.
Mmm.
You think they need a little more time in the oven?
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me put a little butter on it and show you guys. I'm trying to figure out if they need to go back in for a few more minutes. But this is it. Put a little butter on it. A little more butter. I have some jam over here somewhere.
I saw that.
I don't know what I did with it. Mmm.
Right here.
Okay, I got some Simply Fruit jam. I know some of you guys probably make your own, right?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so
Y'all excuse me.
my daughter. Okay, let me try some with a little jam on it. A little piece with a little jam on it. How about that? Just a little piece with a little jam on it. I set it down right here, just so I can put just a little jam on it. Uh-oh, I'm making a mess. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, wow. Lord. Mmm. Mmm.
Yep.
You want a piece with the jam?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you just let them sit, they'll be fine.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hope y'all let me know if they need to go back in. Everybody said they need to stay out? What did everybody say?
Somebody was saying, I was thinking they need to go back in before you ask the question.
Okay, they need to go back in? Just for another minute or so? Let's see.
Because it's still hot.
They're still hot, but
sit.
They might need just a little bit more. Maybe one more minute. Let's try it. Okay. But here's the one with the jam on it.
Yum.
You got it? That jam is actually good. It's the first time that I've tried the Simply Fruit.
That's the one I have.
It's sweetened with ingredients made from real fruit. I don't know. Maybe it's a little less sweet, a little less sugar in there. I don't know. But that's really good with that. So maybe just a couple more minutes just to make sure they're, yeah, I'm gonna clean up down here. They're not bad for a first attempt at those rolls though. Cause I found that recipe and I was like, well, let me just try it. First attempt. All right, so back to this. Don't let me forget they're in there. Just make sure they set like they need to be set. Is the camera open over here? Okay, here's the evaporated milk. They ready? Think they're ready?
Simply Fruit by Schmuckers.
Smuckers, okay. And that jam may be a little less sweet than what some of the other ones are.
It's good though.
Yeah, it's good. You don't have to have a lot of sugar if you're trying to watch your sugar like me. Can't have a lot of that sugar anyway. So I have pet milk here. And this is just the regular evaporated milk. You can use any brand that you like. And so I always do about, when I'm making 2 pies or 3 pies, I'll do a whole can, but I'm just gonna just do that for right now. Because I'm just making 1 pie. And you can see how the consistency is. Of course, you have to have your spices, whatever you like, and the vanilla. And a pinch of salt. Just a pinch. All right. All right, we gave them a little more time, y'all. So maybe their consistency is better now, okay? But they still are very delicious. I'm gonna see if,
Smell good.
but just the idea of having these rolls, freshly baked at home, it's fun to do. Okay, so now we're back to this. And of course you do it to taste. A little nutmeg goes a long way. And then the vanilla. And this is pure vanilla extract, if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably like, I don't know, full teaspoon, teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons maybe. Okay, so when you get to this point, once you put everything in, then I don't put the eggs in until last. And the reason for that is I like to make sure I've got it seasoned exactly the way I want it. And then I add the eggs in last with the mixer. So I kind of do a hand mix. Two eggs, that's all you need. You're making 1 pie. If you're making 2 pies, you could go up to 3 maybe if you want to do that. But this does kind of have a custardy feel to it, if you will, because you're adding these eggs. All right, so now once I get everything combined, I have to make sure that it tastes the way I want it to taste. So I just put a little on my finger. Okay, it's actually really good. And it's going to be sweet because I added that. You probably can do less on the sugar. All right, but the nutmeg and everything, I think it's I actually think it's all pretty good the way it needs to be. All right, so now at this point, then I'm going to start with the mixing process. Using my mixer here, my handy dandy. Okay, I'll move that over out of the way. Sometimes you can start this mixer off a little too fast and everything starts flying away. Okay. And this is not a stringy, it's not a really stringy potato, as you can see. It's just a few strings on here. So would you like a roll? Or you feel okay? I'll wait on y'all. Jeremiah! Son, would you like a roll? They are out of the oven fresh. Fresh out of the oven. What else are y'all cooking? Are you guys dividing up the cooking to where you have one dish and somebody else in your family is cooking the rest? Dividing up the work? sharing the load? Or are you in the kitchen making everything yourself? Let me know who all's doing the cooking. Is it you? Now I'm just gonna add the eggs one at a time. Will you pull the pie crust out of the freezer? I just need one. So as I add the eggs, I'm gonna add the eggs one at a time. Okay. Well, they both went in. There you have it. So like I said, the eggs are gonna give it that custardy feel. So I can raise this mixer to a higher speed. And you can use a deep dish or you can use a regular. Hopefully this will be enough filling for a deep dish. It might be a little light. We'll see. But you give it a final taste. You know, it's funny because you know how a pinch of salt really does bring that flavor out in this pie. Martina, hi, you cooking cabbage and corn pudding? Oh, I love corn pudding. Taking it to a friend's house, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, I made corn pudding for Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving video that I did where I was cooking for, I think I have a corn pudding recipe just on a video by itself. So I love corn pudding. So you see it's not really any strings there, so that means that everything should come out fine. One last taste to make sure everything is good. I'm just gonna put a little on my finger here. Okay, that's gonna be a really good pie, y'all. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so now what we have is, if you guys can see, I have this sheet that I'm gonna put the pie crust on right there. Thank you guys for baking with me today. If I could be anything, I probably would love to be like a professional chef, or I used to do catering, like just as a hobby. I hope you guys can see. I apologize if my arm's in the way. All right. But I love, love, love cooking. Like, the holiday is not the holiday if I'm not cooking something. If I ever get to the place to where I can't cook, it's going to be really hard for me because that's just how much I love it. Cooking is so much fun. And, you know, it really gives you an opportunity to do your own, like, sort of creative spin on recipes. You could take a recipe that you've had for years, change one or two ingredients, and you have a whole new recipe that you can just share. The other thing is recipes get handed down, you know, from generation to generation amongst family members. I'm going to get that little brown piece out of there. Amongst family members. And so it's like you want to keep these recipes going through your generations, right? If grandmama made it, then you definitely want that recipe from grandmama. That's right. You want grandmama to give you that recipe. And that way you can have it for you and your family, even after grandmama is gone into heaven. So I'm just going to put this in the oven. And it's going to bake. And I'm going to drop it down to 350. And it's going to be in there for about 90 minutes. So that's the sweet potato pie, y'all. I mean, we got the rolls here that we did. Did he come and taste one? Mm-hmm. So this is what they look like, you guys, after they spend a few more minutes in the oven. So you can see that that's a little bit better on the consistency. What do y'all think? I think so. But they're still like home. Lord, I can't stop eating these things, but I better stop. But I get one more since they came out of the oven. Okay, just one more little bite for y'all. Look at that. That's so good. I love it. And I didn't realize they were this easy, or I would have been making them my whole life. But I found a recipe for like 30-minute yeast rolls. And I was like, 30 minutes, I can do that. So I was like, let me try it. I would have been making these my whole life. All right, you guys. Let's see what this is doing. Okay, it's come up. I feel like it has a few more minutes to rise on that dough. Oh, Miss Ann, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. You know, I understand what you mean about sometimes you just don't feel like cooking when you're in a situation where you're dealing with loss. But you know, the good thing about it is you're cooking again, and that's awesome because you're making pies now. And I know that your son is happy to have just the thought of you back in the kitchen. Just the thought of you being back in the kitchen and cooking and doing what you love. And so that's a blessing. Yeah. It's good to have everybody helping cook because if you have to do it all, sometimes you're like, okay, we're not going to have anything this year or it's going to be a light year because if I have to do all the cooking and all the cleaning, but when everybody's helping, it makes such a big difference. Okay, so I have quite a bit of cleaning up to do. But those rolls turned out delicious. I'm so excited about those rolls. The last thing that I want to do on this live before we get off is I want to try to do these orange rolls. And this is the thing because here I go again trying another recipe that I'm trying to change up. That's one thing, is like you're trying to be creative, and sometimes in the kitchen, but that's why I said that's the fun of it, because you're learning, and if it doesn't work out, you know what, that's okay. You'll try something else the next time and hope it works out. So this is going to be the pan for these cranberry rolls. I'm just trying to wipe this counter off because I'm trying to wipe the counter off, and then I will put these rolls in this. This is like an 8 by 8, 8.5 by 8.5. I haven't had time to do much cleaning up because I'm still just going. All right, so I'm gonna make sure this is wiped out. So I'm going to spray this. All right, so that's okay. So now this calls for I'm trying something different because this is orange-cranberry rolls. These are orange-cranberry rolls. All right, so we're gonna have to do a lot of improvising for this recipe. So let's see. Get because I actually, I don't remember if, is there a cheese grater?
So, not sure.
If not, what can we do to, any ideas on what we can do to,
What's up? Oh, just take a knife, serrated knife.
yeah, I need a little of this zest. That's gonna be the thing for this recipe.
There,
Okay,
there should be a potato pillow. There's a pillow
maybe we could try that. We're improvising. Okay, so let me move this. I had the eggs in it. Okay. So this is a roll recipe where we're making cranberry orange rolls. And so we're gonna squeeze some juice from this orange. And that's gonna be some of the juice that's gonna go into the glaze. And we're gonna use a little bit of this orange peel if we can. And I'm going to
Alright, those just goes at 4.
What is it, Dad?
all right, we'll see you when you get back. Be careful. Gotta run to the store one more time on Christmas Eve. Better hurry before everybody closes. Okay. So now, ask Jeremiah to come in for me. Okay, did I open this can all the way? It looks a little, like this can opener is a little bit dull. Oh, I think I snapped it, that's good. Because it wasn't open, the can wasn't open all the way. So that was the problem with that.
What happened?
So that can wasn't open all the way, but now it is, okay? So, I'm gonna use this bowl here. I'm just trying to get myself set up so that I can do this last little recipe, the cranberry orange rolls that I started earlier on the earlier live. And so because this is the whole berry, and you know it's funny because the way they fix it, you have to flip it over and open it, but it's the Ocean Spray whole berry cranberry sauce. I'm just gonna empty it out into this bowl. And you know how you do normally, you just kind of, you know, look, just go across like that. If you have trouble getting the cranberry sauce out, that's how you do it. Okay? And it should come out all the way out. Are you able to see it on camera? Okay, good. So now you can see how the berries kind of go to the bottom. All right, so I'm just gonna set that over to the side. Let's see, how can we, I'm gonna peel this off, this orange. It calls for softened butter. So let's see. And when I get everything inside them, then I have to let them sit one more time and let them rise a little bit more. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. This is so fun, but
Stressful.
let's bring our dough over. You can see how it doubled in size. So can you see how the dough has doubled in size? So it was really small, but now it's doubled in size. I'm just gonna turn it out and try to roll it. I need to make sure I have some room over here to roll it out. So the key to rolling it out is supposed to be to just try to get it to roll out flat. But I don't have my rolling pin, so I don't know how this is gonna work. This is what happens when you travel on the holidays and you don't have all your stuff. Oh well, this is gonna be a really soft dough too. I can already tell that. So I'm just gonna turn it out. Okay. It's a beautiful dough though. I mean, really it is. Okay. So if I put a little flour on this cup, are we going back to the dawning of the the 1900s? But you know, my mom taught me when we were growing up. She said, "Look, make do with what you have. If you don't have something, that's where ingenuity comes in." You know, most of what is the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. That just means that when you need something, you're gonna invent some kind of way to get it done, right? So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just using the glass to roll out this dough because I completely forgot to bring my rolling pin. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging with me and being patient while we go through all of this with this recipe. But this is the Orange-Cranberry Rolls, and the recipe, original recipe, is just orange rolls. And I thought, well, you know what? That's all right, but you know what? That's a little bland. So I'm thinking, let's do orange cranberry because it's Christmas. And at Christmas, you gotta have cranberries, right? It's not Christmas without cranberries. So we have cranberries in our cranberry sauce. So rather than trying to go through the step of trying to cook the cranberries and let them cool and all that good stuff, I'm just going to use the whole cranberry sauce. Okay? So now, the way that this works, now that I've gotten it out flat like this, the way that it works is you're supposed to take butter, and spread the butter, the softened butter, onto the dough. And it helps too with this if you have one of those flat edge, like knives, you know, for like icing, spreading icing or whatever. But the soft butter, it goes on there like this. So this is gonna be like a butter, cranberry butter orange roll. Okay, you can see that I've pretty much gotten the butter all the way across the dough. Okay, messy as it is, all right? So no worries about that because it's gonna be cranberries on here as well. So now I wanna take some of the cranberries and this is the whole berry cranberry sauce. And I really don't have to have a lot of the jelly as much, you know, the berries are all the way through here. And so the main thing is to just spread it out like this. And you can smell this. If you can smell this, this really does smell good. Oh, my necklace. Oh, that smells good. The cranberries. Oh. And this is a different way that you can use your cranberry sauce. Right? And a lot of people don't even get the whole berry cranberries sauce. They just get the jelly. But I like the whole berries because I just like to taste those cranberries in there. So this is cranberry orange rolls. Okay, so you can go far out. So these are just going to be like how you would make your cinnamon rolls. You're just going to roll them out. So now that we've got the butter and the cranberry, now we're going to try to see can we get a little zest. So let me just get a little plate here. I don't have my zester. This is working okay. You don't want to get the pith, you just want a little of the, oh wow, you smell that? Smell that.
Ooh.
See, so that little bit of orange is just gonna put the essence, the orange essence into these rolls, okay? So I'm gonna do a little in here. We don't want the yellow pith part, but we do want the cranberry essence part. The orange cranberry. And if you can smell that, that is amazing. So we're just improvising, y'all, because we forgot everything at the house. And we're on vacation for a day or so, just trying to get away. Do you smell that? Come and smell that. Come and smell that. Come and smell this. Oh my goodness. Do you smell that? Do you smell that? Cranberry orange. And you just want to get a little essence all the way through. And it's not just a little of it, you know, it's the zest of the orange, okay? So now, we've got as much of that zest as we can get. All right, you can see the little bits of it, okay? Now, ideally, you want to use your zester and just get a little of the zest, okay? And then I'm going to use the inside of the orange for the glaze. So these are going to have a little glaze on them, just so you know. So don't forget about that. Okay, so now that we've done that, set that to the side. Now, so now we're going to use this, and I don't even know if that's going to be big enough. We may have to use a full pan. I don't know if we should use this because I don't know if this, I think we're going to have more rolls than what we'll be able to fit in here. So I don't know if we have extra, we'll put them over there, but let's just try this. We're going to go ahead and try to roll. Now this is the hard part, the tricky part, because we need to roll this and then we need to cut it. So I need to grab my serrated knife so that I can be ready with that. So this is a serrated edge knife. Can you see the serrated edge of this knife?
You got $1.99 from Jeremiah.
somebody gave a super chat or a super thanks or something. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Who is it from? Jeremiah. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. So this is the serrated knife. And Lord, when I say, let's work this out and try to roll this. And I don't know, I feel like that's really going to be too small. I wonder, should I just put them all in there? Do I have another pan that's going to fit it? Because when I roll them, they're going to be, okay, let's just, I'm getting nervous. Because this is the hard part, like, I want to make sure I have enough room for them in the pan. So that's the thing. And sometimes, like that little 8.5 by 8.5, 8 by 8, these rolls may be bigger than that. I'm not sure. So let me wipe that out. Y'all have been improvising with me all day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in First Lady's Kitchen. I am making cranberry orange rolls. And I don't know if this recipe exists anywhere. So I kind of just made it up. So we'll see how it goes. But you grease your pan, spray it. Now the time is to roll. So let's roll while we can get this dough to do what we want it to do. So we're gonna roll. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Jordan, can you come and see? Can you see? I'm rolling the dough. Can you still see? Okay, can everybody still see? Okay, see how beautiful this is? I'm rolling the dough. If it sticks a little bit, no worries. All right, so now we're gonna bring this piece over. And the key now is to pinch. Pinch the dough as it comes together. Pinch the dough. Pinch the dough. Let's hope it stays together. It's a really soft dough. It's a really soft dough. So I'm trying to pinch it. Okay. So it's not perfect, you guys, but now we're going to see. We might have enough of this. You think? 1, 2, 3. Maybe this one better. I don't know. I'm nervous. Okay, so it's a really soft dough, and I need to pinch it. Hopefully, man, that smells good. So this is not the time to be on a diet, trying all these new recipes. Help me, Lord. I think I lost like 4 pounds, but let's hope and pray I don't gain it all back. For the Christmas holiday. Okay, so now the key is to try to carefully cut it. Oh Lord, I hope it doesn't come apart. Spraying the knife, let's see. That'll help. Okay. They're gonna go in there like so. The dough is really soft, but these are cranberry orange rolls. No, we're not gonna worry about what happens if it comes out. They got lots of filling in them. Cranberry orange rolls. Well, I guess I could have fit them in here. Now that I look at it. Yeah, I may move them over there. Since I think I have room for them.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think I have room for them. So I'm going to move them over here. Put a little of that filling right there on that one. And I think we have room for the two more that we have left. Cranberry orange rolls. They are soft. The dough is super soft. And this last roll here, there they are. Okay, so now they'll sit for a few minutes, and I'm gonna clean up all of this, wash my hands. I'm gonna put probably some melted butter. Okay. We got a lot of cleanup to do after all of this, but this is pretty much the last thing that I'm gonna do. I am gonna make the glaze for it. And sometimes these things are so good they don't necessarily need a glaze. But you know, just a little glaze. This is just gonna be an orange glaze that's gonna go over the top. So I'm trying to see if I need to just cover them and let them rise a little bit more. They may be ready to go in the oven as is. And they have butter already. So with the pie in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. I hate to disturb my sweet potato pie that's in the oven, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. And they're gonna bake for probably about 30 minutes. I'll double check that recipe because I need to check my email and see how long it's supposed to stay in the oven. Okay, but that's the cranberry orange rolls. The cranberry orange rolls, and wow, trying something different. So I guess I want to try to do the glaze real quick while we're sitting here. And that way the glaze will be ready. So remember I said I was going to use this orange. Can you see? Do I need to fix the camera? This is the orange. And I'm going to wash this off. This knife here. Just a little soap here. Get this knife cleaned off. Okay, so what time is it now? Because we just put the rolls in. What time is it?
3:56.
What?
3:56.
Okay, 3:56. Okay. All right. So text Dad and find out if he can let me know about how long they stay in the, because he has it. He has the.
Okay.
I sent the email to him for the recipe. So this is the orange. I'm gonna just cut it in half. I wish I had a juicer. That would be nice if I had my little juicer. Maybe I'll use this bowl instead, just so you guys can kind of see the process. So I hope you can see, I got my little whisk here. And it's really literally just a little bit of confectioner sugar, powdered sugar for the glaze, and orange juice. And I may put a little vanilla just for the let me cut this open. So this juice looks pretty juicy, and it's gonna have some of the pulp in it, and I can use a little orange juice as well. So it'll have like an orange, really orange taste. But you want the glaze to be light, right? It doesn't have to be a real thick, heavy glaze, just a little light glaze on top. Because the cranberries are sweet, a little bit sweet. The cranberry sauce is sweet. You got the butter. And I don't think this orange has any seeds in it, so that's good. I can squeeze all of this. And this is a really juicy orange too. You can see, I hope you guys can see all the juices coming out of it for the glaze. Okay, it's a little bit of pith in there. That's okay. I can get that out. Okay, so now so it doesn't really, just needs a little. Oops. Sometimes those glazes can be so sweet. So we don't have to do it as sweet. We're just doing a little bit. orange from the, you know, the juice is already sweet, the orange juice. Oh, that's really good. It's kind of lightly sweet. That's really good. I mean, I really don't think we need any more because that's just gonna go right on top when they come out of the oven. So it's like a squeeze, a little bit of squeeze of juice on top as sort of a glaze. All right, you can use a little bit of melted butter, I guess, in this glaze if you want to, and a little more sugar. But I just don't. I just like just a little bit of the sweetness of it. I'm wondering, do I need a little vanilla? That'll change the flavor of it. So this is cranberry orange. So we really want this to be just those two flavors shining through, the cranberry and the orange. And if we start adding other flavors, it might make it too much. So I am going to use, can I use a little bit more of this orange zest though? Because the more the better on that. Just a little. Because that's that, gives it that extra orange flavor. Just right on top of the rolls when they come out.
We got another super chat.
We got another super chat? Oh, thank you. Who is it?
Chago.
Chago. Thank you, Chago. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys for the super chat. You guys are so nice. I appreciate you so much. So you can see that orange zest in there. I'm gonna let you taste it and put a little on your finger. You taste it. Put a little on your finger. Let's see. Come on, just put your finger out. Does that taste okay? It's just a little orange zest glaze. You like it? It's good. It's not too sweet, is it?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
What did you do? I missed it. I was in the back.
Okay, no worries. As long as you wash your hands. No, I'm just kidding. You were looking at your
I
lipstick.
did. I washed my hands. I did earlier.
No, but this is actually this orange squeezed, the orange zest in there, and a little bit of confectioner's sugar. That's it. That's all
And
it
that's
is.
it.
That's all it is.
So you use the juice from the orange,
Mm-hmm.
then a little zest from the orange, and then powdered sugar.
Yeah, just to sweeten it up just a little. And this is gonna go right on top of the rolls
Oh, okay.
when they come out.
With some more butter, or is butter already in it?
It has butter in it, remember? Everything is better with butter, right? But we already did butter everything up so good in the rolls. So these are cranberry orange butter rolls. They are so good. All right. I think the first live, I need to go back and make that first live public. So that, because when we were cooking all of this earlier, we showed you how everything got started, and then we came back because the rolls and the bread dough had to rise and all of that. So it took some time. Now the pie, the sweet potato pie, it's obviously gonna have to be in the oven for about 90 minutes. So, you know, it's been in there for a little minute now. But it still has more time. So if you can see, this is the cranberry orange glaze, the orange glaze, orange zest is gonna go right on top with confectioner's sugar.
Nice.
See it right there? Can they see it right there? Okay. So that's all we need on that. So now we're basically just waiting on the desserts to come out. So a lot of our work is done. We're only having some chicken. I'm gonna make some cornbread here in a minute. And that will be good because we need to have our cornbread for our cornbread dressing. So we're just making stuff in stages because you know when you only have like one oven, you kind of have to get your desserts on out of the way, and then that way you can start cooking your other stuff that's not so finicky in the oven. Because these ovens, you know, if you're baking, you kind of have to be careful. I know the pie is on 350, but the rolls probably need to be a little bit higher, but that's why I'm watching them. And they're on the bottom rack too. I'm being nosy. But they are. They're doing well. Okay, so that's that. What's your favorite Christmas dessert? Everybody's in the chat. Let me know what your favorite Christmas dessert is. Do you like pie? Do you like cake? Do you like cookies? How many of you?
Plate number 2.
That's your dessert. Eating another plate of food. Getting leftovers. That's the best part about Christmas is having leftovers. Going again, getting a second plate. Round 2. I totally agree. And it's really amazing though, the fact that you have so many different people with so many different preferences on what they like. How many people do we have watching right now on the live?
It says 3.
Well, that's great. Thank you guys for joining me in First Lady's Kitchen today because it's Christmas Eve and I don't know about you, but this is the most wonderful time of the year because I really like to cook and I really like to like share my recipes, and really I like to get recipes from you guys. So if you guys have recipes that you want to share at the end of this video when it goes live, put it in the comments. When it goes public, leave your favorite recipe in there. Share if you want to share a recipe, because that's how we learn, because we get recipes from people. Actually, a lot of these recipes come from my mom, but today I was trying new things that I had never done before, which was the rolls that are so good over here, and also this cranberry orange rolls, these homemade cranberry orange rolls. So
Miss Ann's favorite dessert is German chocolate cake, and of course, sweet potato pie.
Miss Ann. My mama, God rest her soul, my mama. My mama could make a German chocolate cake out of this world from scratch. And the funny thing is that, like, you know, we see a lot of recipes now for like these cake mix hacks and stuff, and they really do make you know, life easier. But like our parents and stuff, they made everything from scratch. Okay, so 45 minutes. What do we need?
It just says the recipe called for 40 to 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Of the rolls being in the oven. I don't know if they're gonna be. What is it? 350? Did he say?
Let's see.
What time was it when we put them in?
It was 3:56. I
Okay.
said I called out that time. I think it was 3:56.
Okay. So they gotta cook a little while. 45 minutes. That seems a little bit long for those rolls.
Let me
But
check it.
we'll check them. Maybe we'll check them at 20 minutes. Okay, so. Well, back to what I was saying. I didn't have those recipes written down. I had them emailed to myself. And so since I'm using my phone for the live, I can't get to the email. I was like, okay, everything is going haywire. But we are making it work because I had emailed it to my husband and he was giving me all the details. Because I emailed it to him and myself, and I was like, well, honey, can you go print it off? And we never got a chance to go print off the actual recipe. But a lot of these recipes that our parents created, honestly, they were making everything from scratch. And my mom could make a German chocolate cake. Oh my goodness. Out of this world. Now, something else that my mom made really well, and that is rum cake. And I don't know if any of you like rum cake, but my mom, she could make the best rum cake.
Okay, this is the. I'll let you look at my phone.
And she passed away in 2011. Okay.
You see the internal temperature?
Uh-oh.
That's just a screenshot.
Okay. Okay, the internal temperature. Yeah. Let's see. Cook rolls 40 minutes in dark. So that's in a dark pan. So that's not a dark pan. So I don't know, which is, I don't know.
I know, dark
We
pans.
just have to watch it. Those dark pans, I don't know. They cook different than a glass of casserole. So we'll see how it works. But as I was saying, my mom passed away in 2011. But the wonderful thing about her is that before she passed away, she gave me all her recipes. In her recipe book, I asked for it, and she gave it to me. I said, Mama, I said, can I have your recipes? Can you show me how to make this and show me how to make that? She said, you can have my recipe book. And I still have it to this day. I got it. I have a rubber band around it. That's how old it is, because it's kind of tattered, and the pages are coming apart, and the binding is coming apart. But she had it in like a little journal almost, the way she had them kept, and it was a lot of the recipes were in her handwriting, and I just added to it because there were pages, empty pages, and so I added to it with recipes of my own since then. But that's how we kind of keep these recipes going, by sharing them with one another. And that's the important thing that we gotta do.
Miss Ann said my mom gave birth to 10 children and she could not cook.
Oh, wow! She gave birth to 10 children. Well, you know what? That's okay. She was a little busy.
She learned to cook from her mother-in-law.
Oh, wow. You learned to cook from your mother-in-law? Now, I learned how to cook a lot of stuff from my mother-in-law. Matter of fact, my mother-in-law is here with us right now, sitting over there on the couch relaxing. I learned how to cook so much from my mother-in-law. Potato salad. I like the way she cooked her dressing and ham. I mean, we used to actually, when my kids were little, because all my kids are grown now, but my youngest son is 22. But when the kids were little, we would spend Christmas Eve with my mother-in-law, or at her house. And now the tables have turned, and she comes and spends Christmas Eve and Christmas with us. So we keep the tradition going, because when the kids were little, they wanted to be over at their Bookie's house for Christmas. And so we would all pack up and take all our stuff and go over to Bookie's house for Christmas Eve. My mom at the time lived in Arizona. So when quite a few years when my kids were little, my mom lived in Arizona, which was kind of far away. So we would always go to my mother-in-law's house, and we'd spend Christmas Eve over there. And the kids loved it, because it would be like having a fun sleepover. And so now all the kids are grown, and my oldest son, has kids of his own, and we tried to keep that tradition going. It's hard to do sometimes, but we try to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together, if at all possible. So we're trying to be still together and keeping those family traditions alive. And really, the next generation, they're going to need us to show them how to cook all this stuff. So it's fun to teach them too, the next generation. So this year, my daughter is going to do the dressing. And so we're sort of passing the torch to her, to let her do some of the heavy lifting on the cooking this year. So, oh my gosh, if you can see those rolls, I'm gonna take, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm gonna take the camera and let y'all see inside. Just take the whole thing. I'll take it off with the cord and all. I'll just bend down. So you can kind of see, look, bend down and see those rolls. Can you see them? Well, you can see that sweet potato pie in there too. I better stop opening up this oven. Those rolls look amazing. But they are gonna have to cook a little while. And if I keep opening up the oven, I'm gonna have a problem. So let's not do that again. So let's chit chat some more. Yeah, so Miss Ann, your mom had 10 kids. Oh my. My mom had 2 and I had 3. So I beat my mom by 1. Did you beat your mom by 1? That means you would have to have 11 kids. I tell you, it is something. I had 3. I had 3 children, and my mother-in-law had 6. And so I only did half of what she did.
She said my mother-in-law can make anything taste good.
Oh, really?
She said my
Wow.
mother-in-law loved me like I was her daughter. Everybody thought I was her daughter.
Wow, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to have a mother-in-law like that. You know, it reminds me of the relationship that Naomi and Ruth had in the scripture, and how they had such a loving relationship as a mother-in-law to a daughter-in-law. And their love was so strong that even when the men in their lives passed away, they still clung together like glue. A mother-in-law to a daughter-in-law, that's such a special bond. And I think that bond is really a gift from God. Especially, you know, as you read about it in the book of Ruth. I don't know if you have read that whole story and how God really turned their lives around and blessed them in such an amazing way. Even after they left their homeland, they stayed together. They stayed together, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, and it was just such a beautiful bond. And I think when Naomi had the baby, Ruth was like, "This baby is mine." But it was, you know, the heirs to the kingdom of God just continuing on, and that's such a beautiful story. The story of Naomi and Ruth in the Bible. Yeah, I have a loving relationship with my mother-in-law as well. We've been married. I've been married to her son 35 years, and that is a long time. And you get to know people, and you get to grow and love people when you know them that long, right? So it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing, and we wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, I don't know if I like cookies or cake or pie, but I'm actually a cobbler fan. I don't know about anybody else, but I go crazy over cobbler. And my favorite cobbler is blackberry cobbler, but I have and this is really sad, but I've never made one. So that's the thing, is I'm challenging myself to at least make some of the things that I love, because honestly, you know, the homemade stuff is always better than what you buy in the store. So like, if you really love something, then I'm thinking I need to learn how to make it because I love it so much. What do you guys think?
Miss
Okay.
Ann said she had 2 children. She said, I
2
combed
children.
so much hair until I asked the Lord for 2 children, and that is what I had.
Yes, you were busy being a sister to the 10 children. But yeah, what a blessing. That's a blessing. The Lord gave you what you asked for. I have 2 boys and a girl, and I thank God that they're all still here in this world. But my oldest son, and then I had a daughter in the middle, and then I have a baby son. And the funny thing is when I was pregnant that 3rd time, I said, Lord, can I have another little boy? And really and truly, my oldest son said, I want a brother. Because he was like, I have a sister. He was like, I'm happy, I got a sister. Now I want a brother. I'm like, okay, you can just ask for what you want. But he did. And I said, well, okay, Lord. I said, I'd love to have another little boy just so my son can have a brother. And when I say he was so happy that he now had a sister and a brother, he was super excited. He was like, I got a brother. So that was 3. That was enough for us, and we were done, and we were extremely, because all of my kids are 5 and 6 years apart. So it wasn't like they were back to back. We took a long time having them. And so that's why they're so split apart in age. All right.
Miss Ann said I was married to her son for 17 years and he died in 2000 of cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, my mother passed away in 2011 of cancer, and it was a rough time for our family. It took us a long time to recover and get over it, and we still don't really, fully understand all the things that happened there and why it happened the way it did. But we're grateful for her life that she did live, and we had a wonderful time with her while she was here. We did as much as we could all the time while she was with us. And so let me look and see on the time. I've got some greens that I need to cook. We'll make some cornbread. We'll make some sides, and we're probably gonna have our dinner tonight if everybody's feeling up to it. Or do we want to have it tomorrow? What do we want to do? You think people will be feeling better tomorrow?
I feel great now. I'm gonna feel great tomorrow, so
We're gonna do it tonight. We'll have Christmas dinner tonight.
they can get the 2.0 tomorrow.
We'll have Christmas Eve dinner then, and tomorrow when we wake up, we'll just sleep in, wake up, open presents, and eat some leftovers. And that's gonna be great. So here's the thing I want to talk to you guys about, because this is really, some people really like to use the buttermilk cornmeal mix, white or yellow. What brand of cornmeal mix? This is Martha White. They have so many, and it really depends on where you live. Where we live, we can't get the pearl milling, which used to be Aunt Jemima. I had some that is probably old, but I just love it so much that it just has such a good flavor. But when I mix these two, it makes it taste okay. But I don't know, I have a favorite brand, which is Pearl Milling. I wish they would go back to Aunt Jemima, because that was easier for me to remember. The other one I can barely remember. Like, what's the name of it?
Miss Ann said, my daughter has been married for 10 years and no children yet. She's an RN.
Oh, my mother was an RN and my sister's an RN. So for
She
years
said, so I
and years.
have no grandchildren yet, but
Okay.
she's working on her career. That's great.
Well, we have a lot of medical professionals in our family. My sister-in-law. I mean, we have a lot of people in our family who. And the thing about my mom was a nurse for 35 years, and so we never really had to got a chance to spend like the holidays together fully, because she would either have to work Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but she could never really get both off. So it's like she would have to pick and choose, like, do I want to have Christmas Eve off or do I want to have Christmas Day off? But because she worked at a hospital, the hospital always needed nurses. And so she always worked. So we understand about that. Working on your career is nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, I'm gonna cover these rolls. If y'all want rolls, they'll be right over here. If you want rolls, the rest of the evening. So the only thing that we really have left, I'm just waiting on these rolls, you guys. And it's kind of hard to tell if they're done because they're in this oven and I can barely see it with the light. So that's why I keep kind of peeking in here. Okay. I don't think they're ready. I know the pie's not ready, so I hate to have to keep peeking in there, but it's hard to see what they look like. So I'm just gonna just go with the time factor. And just hopefully, because it's hard to tell if they browned when you have the oven. The oven light is on, but it's hard to tell. And then the other thing is the pie is in there too, in the oven. So because the pie is in there, it's taking up a little bit of the heat factor there away from the, so we can't cook anything else until we get that pretty much situated and out of the oven. So once the pie comes out of the oven and once these rolls come out of the oven, then we can start thinking about making the cornbread for the cornbread dressing. Okay, this is just a glaze. I'll show you again. This is just a glaze that I made with some orange zest and just a squeeze of a whole orange and then a little bit of confectioner's sugar. I don't want it to be a thick sugary glaze. I just want it to be a light orange glaze that can just kind of go right on top when they come out of the oven and it'll give that little bit of sweetness. Excuse me. Let me get some water. Excuse me. All right.
Miss Ann said, I live in Moss Point, Mississippi, and our cornmeal is Martha White. Have you heard of Moss Point?
You don't have it. Is that anywhere near? Is that anywhere near Natchez Trace, or what? I've never heard of that. I have some friends that live in Mississippi. Was that Mississippi, she said? Okay, that's awesome. What's the weather doing there? It's really cold.
It's near Gulf Point,
What's that?
or Gulfport, and Biloxi.
Oh, yeah, okay, so down there, is it near Starkville? Starkville, Mississippi, down there in that area, Gulfport. I know where that is. I think I've been down in that area two times. So I'm just gonna be cleaning up a little bit. Washing a few dishes. While our rolls are baking. You need a water bottle? Did you get a water? You okay? Okay. Now, you guys, that was my first time ever making one pie. First time ever in life trying to make one pie. Okay. It barely worked. Jordan, come help, Mama. All right. That's the only thing about cooking. You gotta clean up. And you spend half of the day cooking and cleaning up, and then you get tired. Okay, so we have just a few minutes left on these rolls. I'm going to try to hopefully get these out. You think they're ready? How long have they been in there?
What time is it? 4.
They've been in there 30 minutes, right?
4:32. Yeah, you could check on them. I thought they'd be done.
Let's check and see. You think? No, not yet.
Mm-mm.
And my pie is starting to sink. I better
Mm.
leave it alone. Okay, let me. I'm not worried about that sweet potato pie. I just want to make sure those rolls are good. They got to stay in there a little while longer, y'all. So I'm just waiting to see what they're going to turn out like. They look so good. Okay, so we have a few dishes to dry and put away. I'm gonna set them over here. I'll set them over here so they can. Set them out of the way. I mean, I guess we need to wait until we can at least smell the rolls. I'm starting to see. I'm just now kind of starting to smell them. Do y'all smell? Do you smell them?
I did.
You do. You starting to smell them. So maybe because we are just now starting to smell them, they're getting, you know, closer to being done. If we couldn't smell them, then they're probably not ready. But that's a pretty neat recipe. I guess I need to write that recipe out because I've never made it before, and I don't know if there's one that exists on the internet. Cranberry orange rolls. I'm pretty sure it probably is, but I didn't know of one. I just kind of made it up myself. So that means I'm gonna have to write it out. So if I get a chance to, you guys, I will try to get that recipe added to the description of the video there, underneath the video, because I have the basics of the recipe, but since I changed the recipe from just orange rolls to cranberry orange rolls, it made a little bit of a difference because I added the whole berry cranberry sauce. So we will see. Because you know how sometimes you want something a little different, because like I've made cinnamon rolls before, homemade, and I wanted something different than a regular cinnamon roll. So I was like, maybe cranberry orange would be okay. So let's see how they turn out. I hope they're good. They've been in the oven for a little while, so they have to be in the oven 45 minutes, I think. 45 minutes, that's what they have to be in the oven. And once they hit the 45-minute mark, then we'll look at them again. And hopefully they'll be closer to being ready. I'm just gonna drink some more water.
Miss Ann says she wants to try to make them, so gotta write them out.
Okay. I will definitely copy and paste and try to get those directions for that recipe, the entire recipe. I've never made this before, so we're kind of winging it as that's why I don't know exactly the precise time that it needs to stay in the oven or anything, because I've never made this before. So I'll definitely try to keep everything in mind and just, but you know, ovens vary too, and oven times will vary. So we'll try to get as close as we can to get the recipe, the full recipe for you guys. But yeah, I'm excited about Christmas because this is the best time of the year, and especially when you're off work and you have time that you can spend with your family. If anybody wonders about this necklace, I have a lot of people that ask me about this necklace. Actually, it's a Star of David, and I got this when I visited Israel. I've been to Israel 2 times. I've been to the Holy Land twice. I was on my way a 3rd time to go to the Holy Land because my husband and I, we do tours to the Holy Land. We led a tour back in 2018, and then of course we were scheduling another one for 2020, and it had to be canceled because of the, you know, all the COVID things. But I really enjoyed that trip, and I got this necklace there, and it's one of the few pieces of jewelry that I pretty much like wear all the time. It's just a little sterling silver rope chain with this Star of David. But it's one of my favorite things. Helps me to remember to just pray for world peace, pray for peace in Jerusalem, the peace of Israel, the peace of the world. So I just want to remember that, to let you know about that, because a lot of people do ask me about this necklace, especially when I'm in the store and stuff, they ask me about it. But I got it in Jerusalem. I don't know where else you can get them. Maybe you can order them online.
I smell it now.
You smell it now? We're getting there. I can look down at them and see. And I think according to the recipe, you know, you're kind of supposed to like let them sit. But the dough sat so long, I'm just like, I'm ready to eat. See, and that's the other thing. You have to be patient when you bake. Because if it says like, you have to let the dough rise, then you have to let the dough rise for an hour and a half, and then you have to let the dough rise another 30 minutes or whatever. So it's like, oh. And you know what? You can't be pressed for time either, because if you have, you know, a short amount of time and you're trying to bake, you're going to run out of time. So it's always good to just make sure that you don't have anywhere you have to be when you're baking, because obviously it's gonna take up a lot of your time. And so I'll have to put all the details, and maybe you guys will be more patient than me in following all the recipe instructions on how you're supposed to let the dough rise and rise and rise. I don't know, rise. Let the dough rise. But we'll see how it turns out, because I just want them to be soft and buttery and orange flavor with the cranberry. That's what I really want. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas. I hope that everybody is being blessed by God this Christmas. Jesus is the reason for the season, and obviously He's the reason why we do any of this, because He is Emmanuel, God with us, and He's the reason why we are able to be here on this earth and have peace with God because of what Jesus did. So I hope you guys are just enjoying the joy of Jesus this holiday season, this Christmas. And Christmas is so special because it really is all about family and friends and the special gift that God gave to us through His Son. So I love Christmas, and I'm looking forward to just relaxing a little bit and spending time with family after I get done with cooking, which, you know, we'll be done in about another couple of hours. Honestly, we'll be done. And we'll probably be sitting down to dinner at about 6:30 or 7, ready to eat. So it won't take very long at all. Once we get the rest of the stuff out of the oven, we can get everything going, and you know, half the battle is done when you get all the baked stuff done, you know, because they take the longest. Like your vegetables, they only take a few minutes to cook, you know. Your meats may take an hour or two, but those baked goods, they take, you know, hours and hours because you're baking several different things. And if you only have one oven, then you're kind of sort of having to time everything out to make sure that you're able to get it all done and all your baking done. So it really is, you know, sometimes very time consuming, but once you get the baked goods, then the other food, the macaroni and cheese, things like that, you're talking 30 minutes or so. And so we'll be done probably, we're ready to eat probably about 7 tonight for dinner, which will be good. I mean, that may be kind of late for some people, but that's okay. You know, it's Christmas Eve, and so then after that, we'll just be relaxing. But what time do you guys normally like to eat dinner? Do you have to eat dinner by 5? Or do you like to eat dinner at 6 or 7? Since it's Christmas Eve, it's going to be a little later than normal. I do like to try to eat dinner by 5:30 or 6 every night. For the most part, I don't like to eat too late, but when it's a holiday and I know I don't have to, you know, be anywhere necessarily the next day, then I'm pretty much okay with eating, you know, at 7. But when it starts to get like 8, 9, no, that's a little bit late. But I don't know. I love to try to be eating and try to be definitely done eating by 8. Not really eating anything else after that time. So we just have the cornbread dressing to do, and we'll make some green beans. We'll do some corn. We'll do some potato salad, and we have a little ham that won't take very long to do, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's going to be a regular traditional Christmas menu. All right, I'm still looking at these rolls. Let me get another peek at them. Definitely not going to open the door just yet because I think they're still working. So because they're homemade rolls, they're not going to be like the ones that you buy. They're going to take a lot longer in the oven to do, so we're okay with that. We'll be a little bit patient. What are we watching? Oh, we're watching the Polar Express right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what's on, okay. one of my favorite Christmas movies is I'll Be Home for Christmas with, I think that movie was in the 90s. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I'll Be Home for Christmas. He was the young guy who was on Tool Time or whatever the show was with Tim the Tool Man Taylor. Um, but anyway, he was one of their sons because they had three sons in that show. Tim Allen had three sons. Well, one of the sons is Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and that movie, I'll Be Home for Christmas, is so hilarious. As a matter of fact, I think we're gonna watch it later on tonight. And then I love This Christmas. It's kind of funny. Christmas with the Cranks is funny. The kids like Polar Express. We watched Charlie Brown Christmas. What is that? What is it called? Charlie Brown Christmas? That's the original one. The one from 1965.
Miss Ann said Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. That's
the name of the show.
it. That's the name of the show. Home Improvement. Yeah. And so that show, I'll Be Home for Christmas, is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And so yeah, but yeah, I love Christmas movies because they're just fun-loving, light-hearted movies that just kind of put you in the Christmas spirit. Christmas with the Cranks is funny. All Home Alone 1 and 2 are all-time favorites. We already watched those. We watched Charlie Brown Christmas, the 1965 original Charlie Brown Christmas, where Linus talks about and gives the scripture of Jesus. Oh man, it's a classic. It's one of my favorites. So I really love A Charlie Brown Christmas. And Linus tells the whole Christmas story. For unto us is born for unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. I mean, he says the whole scripture. And that's what makes that cartoon such a beautiful classic, A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's one of my all-time favorites. And we watched it Sunday with all the children at our church. And it was so funny to see how the children responded to that little short movie. Because maybe some of them have not seen that. Because, you know, that Charlie Brown Christmas is a classic. It's old. And a lot of times children, they're watching new Christmas things, you know, and they probably may not have a whole lot of experience with that. So, but anyway, I think that the rolls are almost ready, so we're almost ready to pull them out. Almost ready to pull them out. Almost ready. Let's see. Not quite. They need a little more time. All right. All right. We've got the glaze ready. All right. We are almost through, and as soon as these come out, we're going to taste them. I hope they're tender and soft. Okay, so they are getting brown on the edge, so now it's like, okay, a guessing game. They are getting brown on the edges, so I just kind of want to make sure they're brown. And that will be the last thing once I pull this out. We're gonna get ready to let you guys enjoy the rest of your Christmas while we relax a little bit, get ready to throw these last few items of food on the stove and get ready to enjoy Christmas dinner. All right, so just a few more minutes. I hate to pull them out early like I pulled the rolls out, but
Right back.
okay. I still think they're a little soft. What do you think? They look a little soft. They need a little more time.
Yeah, are you gonna wait for it to brown, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're ready almost. They just need to brown on top. They need to brown on top. And then we'll put this little orange, little bit of orange glaze on top, and then that'll be it. Because remember, we didn't use a whole lot of sugar in that dough. So the dough is not that sweet. And then we use butter, and then we use the cranberries, and we use some of the orange zest, but we didn't really use a whole lot of sugar. So these rolls shouldn't be very sweet. The only sweetness will be really on the glaze, and then also whatever sweetness that the cranberry sauce had that we put in between as we rolled the dough. So it's hopefully it won't be too sweet. Sometimes you want something that's not really so sweet, and cinnamon rolls sometimes can be very, very sweet. So I'm thinking that these cranberry orange rolls won't be so overly sweet. But I feel like they have been in, what time was it when we put them in?
3:56.
So they've been in there almost an hour. Okay. But it's because the pie is in the oven, taking up some of the heat factor. So it's kind of taking a longer time to get them done. But I hope everybody gets what they hope for and pray for this Christmas. I hope that this Christmas is a special Christmas for you and your family. I hope that this Christmas God blesses you and your family with so many more blessings than even last Christmas. Because we really need the Lord to bless us. We need blessings, we need grace, we need mercy, we need love, we need peace, we need joy, we need kindness. We need all of these things so much more than we need the little gifts. So I'm just praying that everybody is healthy, that God blesses you with good health, that He blesses you with strength, family, that He just blesses you with every single blessing that that you could ever imagine. I just pray that for you and your family this Christmas. And I do ask you to pray for me and my family, that everybody is well and blessed and protected by God this Christmas. And that you just enjoy time with your family as much as we hope to do the same. All right. The sweet potato pie has been in there a good while, but it's not ready yet either. As many times as I've opened the oven, it's a wonder it's still hot. Oh gosh. I'm so impatient. But you know, they say a watched pot never boils, right? So obviously, as long as I keep watching it, you know, if I step away from it, they'll probably get really brown. If I step away from them and not pay any more attention to them and start doing something else, then they'll get too brown. But I'm just kind of staying so that I can get them brown and so that I won't forget about them. leave them in there too long. But they've been in there for about an hour on 350. So because the dough is so soft, it's taking a while too. Whew. And I kind of want to just at least taste them. So let me get a plate. Let me get a plate. And I guess I'll get a fork. So I've got a spoon here that I'm going to use to spoon out some of the glaze. I got my fork here. You always gotta keep your fork close, because when it's dessert time, you gotta save your fork. Never let the waitress take your fork, because then you're gonna miss the best part. The best is yet to come, and that is the dessert. And you know, actually, these cranberry rolls are for breakfast, probably. But you could serve them as a snack, a dessert. So these cranberry orange rolls are really versatile. They don't have to be for an evening meal. They can be for breakfast. You can make them for a brunch. So much you can do. They don't have to just be, they can be for a snack. So there's other things you can do with these rolls. All right. Whew. I have gotten tired waiting on these rolls, I tell you. Okay. Okay. I feel like the dough. Oh, let me post this real quick. My eye's in there. I feel like the dough. Let's look and see. Is it brown on the bottom? Yeah, they're brown on the bottom. You can see they're brown on the bottom. I just wonder if they need more time. I'm always so impatient with these rolls. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just put a little of this glaze on top. This is just more orange. I hope you guys can see. Come and see if they can see.
Okay.
Can you see? Can you see?
Ooh.
Okay, I just put a little. It's still sizzling.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still kind of nervous, but they, like I said, if this is not perfect, we'll think something different next time.
It could probably go in for a little
You
bit
think
longer.
a little longer?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks good though.
They're brown, you know, but I feel like, you know, so let's see. got impatient with that. But I put some of the glaze on and put it back in for a few more minutes. We just kind of want that dough to be done and not gummy. Is that right, guys? Okay, so now we can put some of this stuff up. I'll put this in the refrigerator. We can put this vanilla up. Don't you love the smell of vanilla extract? Okay, so good. They may have to be in there for an hour and 15 minutes or something. I don't know. Who knows? But they are smelling so good right now. I just wish they'd hurry up and get done. So I can try them. Okay. I am pretty much done. We're gonna take a few minutes of a break and bite on a roll and then cook dinner, be eating dinner at 7. And I don't know, some people have a tradition to where they open one Christmas gift on Christmas Eve. They don't open everything, but like they'll have Christmas dinner and then they'll open up one gift and then they'll wait and open up the rest of the gifts on Christmas Day. That's what some people do. We started doing that when our kids were little. So we basically would let them open up one gift on Christmas. And it was kind of the tradition that, you know, when after we read the Christmas story from the Bible, then we would let them open one gift, one special gift on Christmas Eve. So that's sort of our tradition. So we'll probably do that again tonight, Lord willing, and then we'll wake up tomorrow and open up the rest of the gifts, I guess, as a family. All right, so I'm just trying to straighten up a little bit. Straighten it up a little bit. Cleaning up my mess. We had the breakfast casserole earlier. We had the bacon. We had the rolls that we did. Still good. Still soft over here. And now we're doing the Orange-Cranberry Rolls. All right.
Yes, I had to see the sunset.
All right, you guys. All right. Glaze, glaze, glaze. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little portion just so you guys can see. How about that? And they do kind of peel away. So I'm just going to
Yeah, the sun came out. I want to take a picture of it.
peel. Jordan, can you make sure they see?
Oh, yes.
This is it. Oh. I hope you can see.
They can see.
Wow. I'm going to let you taste too. You get a bite. See that? They're buttery, and it's just lightly sweet with the cranberry. That's it. Mmm. But you can taste, you can taste the orange and the cranberry.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. And they taste like rolls. So it's not like that cranberry is really good in there. It's almost like a glazed donut in there. Alright. Okay guys, this is it. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video in First Lady's Kitchen. Merry Christmas. I love you. Bye, Miss Ann, Chago, Jeremiah, Jordan, Miss Lynn, everybody that watched, everybody that's on this live. I love you guys. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a blessed 2025. All right? Love you. Keep cooking in the kitchen. Be blessed.